Hi, everyone. Welcome to Spill the Tea Radio, where we interview awesome singer-songwriters and those who influence their lives. Spill the Tea Radio explores the journey, creativity, and inspiration behind the songs. My next guest is a Swedish-born, Canada-based, multi-award-winning singer-songwriter. She also composes, produces, and mixes records. She has released 4 albums and over the last 10 years has toured extensively across North America and Europe. Rootstime Belgium called her one of the greatest talents of this era. She has played many international festivals, including Iceland Airwaves, Edmonton Folk Festival, Isle of Wight, Reeperbahn, and has shared the stage with artists Tallest Man on Earth, Buffy St. Passenger, Bruce Coburn, and many, many more. So, let's spill the tea with Sarah MacDougall. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming on the show. You've been a very, very busy artist with your trip to Sweden, which is where we caught up with you originally. What was the impetus to go to Sweden? I know that you were on a term to writing trip.
Yeah. Well, I'm originally from there, so my mom still lives there, and my sister she lives in Norway, but she comes to Sweden too quite a bit. So over the last especially since the pandemic, I guess I've really wanted to go and spend more extensive time in Sweden. And now I'm also seeing someone there, so that was also part of the impetus. And yeah, so I went to stay there for 3 months and just try to focus on writing, and I had a great little cabin that I can use there, and my dog came with me, and yeah, did a lot of writing, looking out at the beautiful canola fields right outside, which is nice.
Now people can't see it on the radio, but when they see the interview on the website, they'll see you've got this big beaming smile when you're talking about Sweden and writing music and this new person that you have waiting for you in Sweden and your puppy.
Yeah.
Is that where you draw inspiration from? Do you draw inspiration from your environment? Is it the relationships you're in? Have you written songs about your puppy? Where does all that music come from?
I do write him a song almost every day, but they never see the the light of day.
Never responds. He doesn't give you a standing ovation.
He just stares at me he does love having his name sung, but yeah, it's not like I record those songs or anything. But I'm very I think I draw inspiration a lot from nature, as well as human interactions, and relationships. So I think I'd say it's a combination of the two.
You've been in the game for a little while now.
Yeah.
And when I've talked to other artists, have said to me, it was so much easier to write music when I was younger, in my 20s, when there was that passion, there was love, there was breakups, there was heartaches, and all of those things going on in my life. And now things have kind of smoothed out now that I'm in my 30s and 40s. What's your take on that? Was it easier for you to write when you were first starting out in music, or has maturity given you another aspect and outlook on songwriting?
I think in some ways it was easier to write, just because when you're just starting out, you're not filtering yourself as much because you're not as self-conscious about what you want it to be. You're just kind of and it comes out, and you might do a little editing, but it's yeah, if it's 5 verses and then a bridge and nothing else, then that's great. You know what I mean? Whereas the more you kind of see it as a craft, and like you get more picky about what you like and stuff like that. So I find that maybe um makes it slightly more difficult. Um, but I don't think it's so much getting older or like being more, content with life and stuff like that. For me, anyways, I think it's more just like being more picky.
How has your writing style changed over the years? You mentioned, and I'll quote you. You say, it just kind of that just came out there.
Yeah.
Is it more complex? Is it more thoughtful now that you're writing? It's 10 years, 4 albums, 10
Hmm.
years.
Yeah.
Is it more complex and sophisticated?
I don't even know if it is. But I think it's uh maybe in some ways it's slightly more complex because you're trying to do something you haven't done before. But I do really like simple songs, and like I'm drawn to like simple songs and like complex arrangements, but still quite simple, if that makes sense. Like not, strange time signature that change and like, obscure lyrics and stuff like that. I kind of like things that reach reach you and like reach other people like kind of immediate. Um, and so I think that's what I try to do. And sometimes that's harder in a way. So in some ways that does make it more complex because it is harder to try to like find the essence of something sometimes, you know.
What do you love about being a musician?
I love music. I love talking to people like yourself.
Mhm.
Um, I think mostly like I love playing shows is probably my favorite thing. And just like twiddling knobs in the studio.
Well, that's another part to your persona
Yes.
is producing and twiddling those knobs is as you say. Uh, do you do that just for your own music or do you do it for other artists as well?
Since the pandemic, I've been doing it for other artists, and it's kind of become a big part of my life, which is, I think, why my own record is like taking a little longer to come out this time. Um, yeah, so I do like songwriting and producing and mixing for and with other artists.
So what's your job as a producer for another artist? Is it to critique their music? Is it to help them enhance it? Is it to change it a little bit? I mean, you have a definite advantage because you are a songwriter,
Yeah.
that you know what works and maybe what can be improved upon. Is that part of the producer's job is to depart that knowledge or make those recommendations?
Yeah, I think it's definitely enhancing. Um, Usually, like I will make songwriting comments or like, try to make the song better if it needs it. Sometimes it doesn't need any editing. And then my job is to like find the right sound. Like maybe that means finding the right musicians. Maybe it means me playing all the different instruments. Um, I'm like guiding the artist vocally, and guiding like if they record their own vocals at home, or maybe they'll come here and record. Um, and then putting it all together, and kind of the producer's job is to like have the bigger vision. And in my case, like I do the engineering as well. So I have like the
Wow.
audio engineering skills for it. Yeah.
Is there anything you don't do? Is there anything in music you don't do?
Yeah, I don't play like crazy great guitar solos.
So you're not shredding that guitar in the background?
No, I can like learn a simple guitar solo, but I'm not a super shredder, no.
Well, let's get into one of the songs that Sarah wrote. This song is the second track from the album All the Hours I Have Left to Tell You Anything, which was released in 2018. It has been called a full-blown anthemic song for those who dare to be different. So let's take a listen to singer-songwriter Sarah MacDougall with her song We Are Fire.
A diamond in between is who you've always been. It's who you've always been. Half empty, half complete. It's how you're always seen. It's how you're always seen. You were made from rules, but you're not a monster. You're not a monster. You were made from rules. So raise your head up high. Let your feet lift to the sky. We were made to fight. Don't ask why. Don't ask why. We are fire. We are fire. Glacier blue and white. Are you calling me? Are you calling me? Your eyes gleam of mountainside, and I'm falling in, and I'm falling in. You were made from wolves. So raise your head up high. Let your feet lift to the sky. We were made to fly. We are fire. We are fire. So raise your head up high. Let your feet lift to the sky. We were made to fly. You and I. So raise your head up high. So much left before we die. We were made to fight. Don't ask why. Don't ask why. We are fire.
That was We Are Fire by Sarah MacDougall. Sarah, tell us about that song. What's the song about and what was the inspiration to write that song?
hmm Um, the song is it's kind of about being strong in a way. It was inspired by a friend of mine who um, every time they're non-binary, and every time they got kind of down, they would call themselves a monster, and kind of always feel like they would always feel like they were seeing like half people or half empty instead of half full, and and that had been on my mind for a while. And then I remember one day I was about to go into a songwriting session or write a song, and I wrote this person, and I said, "Give me one word, and I'm gonna start that in my song." And this person wrote between. And that's why I started the song with a diamond in between. That's who you've always been. And that kind of then it went from there with the rest of the song.
So now you've got new music in the pipeline. You're looking forward to releasing some new songs coming up.
Yes.
How do people find out more about your music, your gigs, your concert, your tours, and what you are up to? What's the website? What are the socials that they can follow you on?
I have Instagram and Facebook. I'm mostly active on Instagram these days. So Sarah MacDougall Music is where they can find me on both of those socials. And then I have a website, sarahmacdougall.com.
And that's MacDougall with an M-A-C.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. We have been in conversation with Sarah MacDougall. Sarah, thanks for being with us.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for having me.